Hello, so now I've got this table and it's got a break underneath, which I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to glue back together a piece that's split and separated entirely. I'm going to try and do that by using things that you've probably already got in the house, so no specialist tools required, only really the glue, but we'll see how that goes. So here's the split. As you can see, it's broken clean in two. So this is the underside of one of the leaves that slide out. I can probably demonstrate that. So that slides in here and out like that. So what I want to do is take this whole leaf out, so I can get good access to it. The table is quite well constructed, but also quite easy to take apart. So there's a couple of screws here that'll free this bit, and then I've just got to get it over a lip at the back here, which is stopping it come all the way out. So there's something on the back side there that's stopping it. I've taken this whole leaf out, and you can see that the break is really all the way through. There's this screw holding it in, so I'm going to remove this screw and this screw, and that will allow me to work on it a lot easier. It's so much easier sometimes just to take things apart to work on the broken bits. So much easier than having it attached here. Now I've got these two bits out and off the main leaf, and thankfully it's quite a clean break actually, so that's good news, and that means it will slide back nice and easy, and will hold itself in a decent position as well. Not really too much danger of it twisting or moving up and downwards, because there's grooves within the break, so they're gonna bite into each other. So the next stage is to put some glue on both faces. Make sure the faces are clean. I'm just going over this just lightly. Again, like it's a clean break. It's been under the table, so it doesn't need to be overboard. So just give it a light clean. You can do that with a brush or with a little bit of sandpaper, or some wire wool, or even the rough side of a sponge, a clean sponge, and that'll just take any of the dirt out of the break. I'm going to put some wood glue on both sides. This is just regular wood glue. PVA will work. This is pretty much what this is, although with a few additions. But PVA would do the trick as well. That would be fine. But wood glue is a very useful thing to have around the house. There's two ways in lieu of a clamp. I don't have a clamp with me. They're all in the workshop, and I assume that a few people who are watching this may not also have a clamp too. So I'm going to show a couple of different ways that you could glue it and clamp it, because you really do want to clamp it down. Of course, one way you could do it is rest it on the table and put some heavy weights on the top of it. Stack of books if you can do that. Yeah, and anything that will hold it down. But you could also use a small bungee cord. So you could put them together with the glue and just wrap the bungee cord around it a few times, as tight as you possibly can, and then that will hopefully give it sufficient pressure to keep that brake together. You can see it's doing a pretty good job actually, so that's probably the easiest way of doing it. If you don't have a clamp, of course the clamp is the best way really. Use the tool that's designed for the job. I've got this card underneath here just to protect the table for when I glue up, so I don't get glue all over the table. There is another way. I've got three bits of string, so you can tie a slip knot. Put one here, one in the middle and one at the end. So you can just tie a slip knot around it. It's a little more fiddly, so if you've got a clamp or you've got a bungee, that might be the best way to go. But this certainly should work. So you just tie your slip knot around there, and that will pull up and tie itself around there. And once I've got a few on there, now the problem with this one is that because this is tapered, that's going to want to creep a little bit, so you're going to make sure it's really nice and tight, and make sure it's in position before you leave the glued joint. I can put another one here. I think for sake of ease I would put that at the other end. This is just regular string that I had lying around the house. I guess you want something with a little bit of bite. A smooth string probably will slide a lot easier. And then I'd put another one here. If you try and get the knot so it's resting on the corner, then that will help it stay in position a lot better. And then you've got a little bit of time just to move that around and tighten any of the knots that might have slipped. So I hold it in position. The downside with this way is that it's not going to press down quite as well as a clamp or even the bungee, because that's going to be trying to shrink around it. But it will certainly do a decent enough job for a quick home repair. And if you've only got string around the house, then it'll do the trick. I'm actually going to be using the bungee because I've got it. It's my best option. But that's just to show you that it can be done with just some string. Always have string in the house. It's one of the most useful things. So the knot goes. I'm going to use this as my leading edge, or leading end. That's going to go just bring it back up on itself, and then come back down, and then this bit is going to go around all of the bits of rope, or bits of string, and then back through the loop you've just created and tie it in a knot. And then the bit that you weren't using as the leading end, we'll pull it all tight like that. I'll show you that again. And so I'm going to take the longest bit from the left, come down, so it's following the other side back down. I'm going to loop around the back, and essentially you want to get both of these initial bits that are coming up and tie it around itself, and then that will pull itself. Make sure that initial knot's quite tight, and then pull it there. Easy. And then that will just slide back really simply. You can get quite a decent amount of clamping force with that knot. So I'm just going to pour a bit of glue out on the brush. Get that into all of the grooves on the brake. Again, not the best brush for this, but it's what I've got, so it's what I'll use. You can also, if you're that way inclined, just use your finger and do it many times. Bit messier, but gets the job done. And coat it on both sides. Just an even coat. Doesn't have to be too much, but you certainly want to cover all of the bits of wood that are going to be joining. So any of the natural wood coloured bits, I want to put some glue on, and also in the front of that brake as well. And then as soon as I've done, I'm going to go and clean that brush. But I want to get the joint together first. Take out any of the excess. Now of course the danger is that this is going to glue the bungee cord together, so if I was wise, what I would have done is take a little bit of plastic I'm going to take the excess off. Again, this would have been better with a damp sponge, but this is often the way I actually do it. Not the best way, but it does the trick. So I've just got a piece of plastic. This is just a window from an envelope, and that'll be a lot easier to remove when the glue comes out. Stretch it as tight as possible. Hook it around itself. And I can spread that out as much as I can as well. You can see there's some glue coming out, which means that I've got enough in. Not too much coming out, but there's a little bit coming. That will dry clear as well. So now I can leave that. Let's double check that the joint's together. And importantly that the screw hole is neat, because if that's misaligned, when you put the screw in, it could break the joint again. It shouldn't do, but it's always best to make sure you've done a tidy job. Now it looks pretty good. There's a little bit missing from here. I'm really not worried about that at all. No one's going to ever see that. In fact, that's against the leaf anyway, so no one's going to see that unless they take it apart again. So now I'm going to go and clean the brush, clean the threads on the glue pot there as well, and then come back in a couple of days, come back in a few hours and reassemble. This one's to be left overnight, but I think I can get away with leaving it for, I don't know, 5 hours or so, and then gluing it back again, or screwing it back on, and that should be fine. It should stay bonded when the screw's in. And that's a nice simple table repair. So here you can see that the piece is back in position and glued. You can see where the glue line was there. I mean, it's under the table, so no one's actually going to see that, but it's given it a lot more stability, as you can see. Structurally sound now. So very easy repair you can do at home, no specialist tools required. Thank you for watching.